Mark Carney exposed on live air. Reporter uncovers the truth behind his political promises. In a recent broadcast, a critical analysis of Prime Minister Mark Carney's political promises and actions has raised eyebrows and sparked debate across Canada. Carney, who has just been sworn in for a second term as Prime Minister, campaigned on a platform that emphasized resisting external pressures and defending Canadian sovereignty. However, his subsequent actions have led many to question the integrity of his commitments and the authenticity of his earlier rhetoric. During his campaign, Carney positioned himself as a staunch defender of Canadian interests, particularly against perceived threats to the nation's sovereignty. This bold declaration resonated with voters who were concerned about external influences on Canadian policies. Yet, shortly after his election victory, Carney's decisions began to create a significant divide between his promises and his actions. Critics have argued that this shift in behavior demonstrates a troubling inconsistency that undermines his credibility as a leader. The analysis highlighted how Carney's rhetoric has changed dramatically since taking office. He previously described certain ambitions regarding Canada in alarming terms, a characterization that instilled fear among many citizens. However, after taking office, Carney downplayed these alarming images, opting for a more conciliatory tone. This alteration in language has raised serious questions about Carney's transparency and honesty, with critics suggesting that he is moving the goalposts to suit his narrative. This inconsistency leaves voters questioning whether they can trust his leadership. Furthermore, Carney's initial claims about his conversations with other political figures also came under scrutiny. He had initially stated that he had only one conversation with a specific leader before the election, a statement that was later contradicted by his admission of multiple discussions. This discrepancy has fueled doubts about his integrity and has been perceived as an attempt to manipulate public perception for political gain. Voters expect their leaders to be forthright, and such contradictions only serve to erode trust. Carney's choice to wear the Order of Canada pin instead of the Canadian flag during public appearances has also drawn scrutiny. This decision is seen by some as a reflection of a prioritization of personal prestige over national representation. The symbolism of the Canadian flag is powerful, and critics argue that Carney's choice undermines the collective identity of the nation he leads. Additionally, his invitation to a prominent figure to open Parliament has been interpreted by some as a self-serving political stunt rather than a genuine effort to reinforce Canadian identity. While Carney insists that the visit is about celebrating Canadian heritage, detractors argue it coincides too conveniently with his own political ambitions, raising questions about his motives. The analysis extends beyond Carney's individual actions to critique the broader Liberal leadership under his guidance. Despite promises of change, many policies appear to mirror those of former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, particularly regarding economic strategies and environmental policies. Carney's reassurances that Canada can thrive economically without external support are met with skepticism. Critics point to a lack of substantial progress on key issues like pipeline development and economic growth, suggesting that internal Liberal policy stagnation will prevent meaningful progress. This stagnation has left many Canadians feeling frustrated and disillusioned, yearning for a government that delivers real change. Moreover, the ongoing challenges faced by the Liberal government highlight the complexities of governance in Canada. The political landscape is fraught with tension, and Carney's ability to navigate these challenges will be crucial for his administration's success. As he attempts to balance various interests within his party and the electorate, the pressure to deliver on campaign promises continues to mount. The credibility of his leadership hangs in the balance, especially as voters become increasingly discerning about the actions of their leaders. Carney's comments regarding potential changes in the political landscape have also been called into question. He labeled certain developments as unprecedented, despite historical precedents that could suggest otherwise. This misrepresentation has led to further accusations that Carney is using certain narratives as political tools, only to pivot towards a more conciliatory approach once in power. Such tactics may provide short-term political advantages, but they risk alienating voters who value integrity and consistency in their leaders. In a rapidly changing political environment, the scrutiny of Carney's actions reveals a complex landscape of contradictions and shifting narratives. While he campaigned on a platform of strength and sovereignty, his actions since taking office suggest a different approach. The implications of these decisions will undoubtedly continue to shape Canadian politics, particularly as he navigates the challenges of leading a minority government. The pressure to fulfill campaign promises while addressing the needs of a diverse electorate remains a significant hurdle, one that may define his legacy. The broader implications of Carney's leadership extend beyond his personal credibility. They reflected deeper concern among Canadians about the direction of the Liberal Party and its ability to deliver on its promises. Many voters are frustrated with the status quo and are looking for genuine change. The disconnect between campaign rhetoric and actual policy outcomes could have lasting effects on voter sentiment, particularly as the next election approaches. Citizens desire a government that listens and acts, rather than one that merely speaks. In conclusion, the critical analysis of Mark Carney's political promises reveals a landscape filled with contradictions and challenges. As he continues to lead Canada, the expectations of the electorate remain high. Voters are looking for a leader who not only articulates a vision for the future but also demonstrates the integrity and consistency necessary to bring that vision to fruition. The ongoing scrutiny from both supporters and critics underscores the importance of accountability in leadership, especially in a time of significant political and economic uncertainty. As Carney's tenure unfolds, the test of his leadership will be whether he can bridge the gap between his promises and the reality of his governance. The coming months will be pivotal as Canadians watch closely to see if their Prime Minister can rise to the occasion and deliver on his commitments, ultimately shaping the future of the nation.